Good evening, Georgetown North. Good evening, Georgetown Central. Good evening, Cayman. Good evening, progressives. It's hard for me to put into words how proud I am to stand here this evening to endorse a young man that is like a son to me, Joey Hugh, your progressive candidate in Georgetown North. I have known the Hugh family for many years, more years than I care to count. As many of you would know, his father, Lenny, is one of my dearest and closest friends. In fact, he used to work with my father at Cable and Wireless way back in the day, probably before most of you were born. It is true to say the Hugh family is like my own family, and I have known Joey from the time he was a boy. I have watched him grow to become a kind and caring husband and father, and a well-educated and accomplished businessman with a strong background in the hospitality sector. Having been at the helm of his family's group of companies, Joey has excellent credentials and a wealth of successful business experience. More importantly, he's the kind of man that has no problem rolling up his sleeves and doing whatever needs to be done. And this is what makes him so qualified to be our progressive representative for Georgetown North. Outside of his professional life, long before he had any intention of entering public life, Joey was using his business expertise and experience to give back to the community. He served as president of the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce and headed the Cayman Islands Restaurant Association before it merged with the Cayman Islands Tourism Association. He also served as deputy chairman of the Trade and Business Licensing Board, as well as the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands. But his caring and compassionate nature has never been limited to serving on a business level. Joey has also worked hard to improve the lives of the people in his community in a very real and meaningful way. Through service with Rotary, with hospice care, and with Meals on Wheels, and through coaching youth football at the Annex in Georgetown. There can be no question Joey cares for his community. He's honest and fair and is dedicated to helping his people. As Councillor for Tourism, every Tuesday, unless he was traveling on the country's business, Joey was in the office meeting with constituents and taking care of their needs. Those are the qualities he brings to public life, and that's why we need to bring him back as the people's representative for Georgetown North. He has proven himself. He's ready to do more. He deserves another term. Joey Hugh has my full support, and I encourage you on May 24th to vote for number 1, Joey Hugh. He will ensure the people of this district have real representation, and he will get things done. Because that is what the progressives do. They get things done. What time is it? You. And Kurt says, I still can't walk. I can drive you.